With college and then turning professional, did you did you any declare for like the NFL as like a prior to your senior year, or did you declare, or did you end up in the NFL like after your senior year of college?
Yeah, yeah. So what happens is once you like hire because like up until you accept compensation or things like that, like you consider an amateur, right? So like once you kind of sign with an agent, at that point you're a professional. So you'll be talking to them maybe like they'll reach out to you um during your senior year, like actually during the season. But when the season's over, you're officially allowed to kind of sign with an agent. So when we played Kansas State in December, and then I think I signed with the agent maybe like a week later. And all it is basically like it's like you get recruited again. So like they come to your house and they'll tell you what they're gonna do for you and X, Y, Z, and then you sign a piece of paper, giving them either 3% or 1%. In my case, 3%. Of your contract, and that's it.
How is it navigating like selecting agents, and are there certain like things that you're looking for when you're speaking to different people who want to try to
Right.
represent you?
Yeah, I mean, it really comes down to like, I mean, it's a very subjective, um, decision because you have to feel these guys out. Because some of them are just, snake oil salesmen. They're going to tell you, listen, I'm going to get you a $20 million contract. I know all the different GMs. I know the head coaches. Like, we'll get you on the team. But in my situation, like being realistic, like I knew I was not getting drafted to your last question. Like I knew I was not getting drafted. I thought maybe in the later rounds, like the sixth or seventh, maybe, but like I probably not gonna get drafted. So if you can just help me get me on the team, and what helps also is like they have a track record. Like, look, I have, 15 guys already. Eight of them were guys like you, and I got them all on teams and whatnot. But a lot, you got to fill it out because people just come to your house and say anything. You know what I mean? It's like recruiting. Like they're gonna go in the kitchen and say, "Oh, what's your mom making? Oh, okra. My grandmother used to make okra, and she, da, da, da." Like they're not. They're just telling you things. You know what I mean? So, a lot of people sounded good, but I went with somebody I felt, my mom liked, my dad liked, and that's what I made my decision with.
I was actually just about to ask you that if the decision that you make, or really kind of a lot of the decisions you made as a professional, are you also including, like your wife, your like other family to kind of get input into like the best possible choice?
Right. Oh, definitely. I mean, my dad was a lawyer. God rest his soul. He was a lawyer. So his agents, they handle legal matters. So, he can ask some of those harder questions. He can ask, and you kind of speak to their experiences, and what they would do in this scenario. You know what I mean? My mom just uses her heart. You know what I mean? If she likes you or not. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people don't understand that. Like when you go recruit people, like you're recruiting the person, but like there's somebody in their life that's a power player. You know what I mean? That can really shift the athlete's heart. You know what I mean? So, my mom, she was that person. She's like, I really like this guy. This guy, I don't know so much. Moms can feel things about. Can usually sniff out some bull crap. So my mom, she was there. My brother was a big part too. My older brother, he's 7 years older than me. He was a big part too. He was in a lot of meetings, and my wife now, at that point, she was my girlfriend, but my fiance. From that point on, she was involved in things as well too. So, yep.
Are there certain things that when you were initially going through these talks or negotiations that kind of surprised you, or that you didn't really think about as far as like contracts and signing a contract for the
Oh,
NFL?
absolutely. So you have to do your due diligence as well. So I'll give you an example. So a friend of mine, Darnell Stapleton, we were both going to be undrafted. He actually did his research, and he was really big on the Pittsburgh Steelers. They didn't draft any linemen, or rather anybody. He was a center, but anybody at his position. So he ended up signing with that team. Now he might have took a little less on a signing bonus, but like the opportunity was there, right? So me, I'm so dumb. I signed with the team that gave me the biggest signing bonus, and it wasn't like I know what you're thinking, Chris. It was like $100,000. It wasn't $50,000. It wasn't even $10,000. It was $5,000 before taxes. New Orleans Saints offered me $5,000 signing bonus. I was like, absolutely. But it was a mistake because they had already drafted two corners, one in third, one in the fifth, and they had a big free agent signing. Um, so that's three new corners on the team in front of me. right? I remember San Fran, the guy in San Fran was like, "Look, we're not going to offer you like we can't give you any signing bonus money, but we're going to offer you opportunity." I always think like, "Dang, I should have went to San Fran." He's like, "We only drafted one guy in the fifth round, and like you can beat him out if you kind of do your thing." I said, "Oh, I should have went to San Fran," but that's why you do your own due diligence, like things like that. Like look at the team that's going to be there. Does this situation, does this coaching staff fit your strong suits, right? Like in Green Bay, for instance. They wanted taller corners, right? They wanted cornerbacks who were 6'1", 6'2", and I'm here. I am 5'10", you know what I mean? 5'11" on a good day, right? Like you don't fit their type, you know what I mean? So if you go there, like your ceiling's only but so high, right? Or if you go to a team like the Jets, that year they had drafted Darrelle Revis, like him and I are the same height. You know what I mean? Or maybe I think he's like a couple of centimeters taller than me, but you know what I mean? Like teams that actually are, they fit your style. They play man to man as opposed to zone, or zone as opposed to man to man, right? Like all those different things. Like I was looking at dollar signs. I was a broke college kid. I said $5,000. That's more money I've seen in my entire life. I said absolutely. Where do I sign? You know, it was a mistake.